we're now at July 20th, and Prime Creator had said that something was going to happen mid-July. To my knowledge, nothing huge has happened. The only thing I can think of as a possibility is maybe that I don't know how you say her name, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend,
Ghislaine or what?
Ghislaine, that she was arrested. Maybe that's something. I don't really know. It didn't feel, when I channeled that information, there was a very specific flavor or feeling that went along with that. This didn't feel like that. Like her arrest, the feeling of that didn't match up to what I felt when I was channeling. So I don't know if that means it didn't happen, or I'm just not aware of it, or, I don't know. So I want to ask Prime Creator about that, if I can get any information about that. And then also ask about the August forecast, if there are any forecasted energies or predictions for August. So. Dear ones, the event that we spoke about in the last transmission has not yet occurred. It is still on this timeline or energetic trajectory to occur by the end of July. A few things have changed with it, however. It will not be as jolting as of an energy for some. The way they now plan to release the information will be just a bit more gentle so that more people can see it. One of the issues humanity is facing right now is what you might call cognitive dissonance, or even the inability to see something so far outside of their paradigm that even if something like this were to happen, people would either not see it or would totally disregard it as false information or even conspiracy theory, because it is so far outside of their realm of what they are even capable of understanding. It goes against everything they have been taught, everything they believe. And so there is always great consideration given to how and when disclosure information is released, because it is always best to do it in a way that humanity can receive it. If humanity is at a place in consciousness where dissonant information is given, it can cause more harm than good. And so we are always very mindful and discerning about how and when disclosure information is released. Somewhat of a test has been given with the sex trafficking and pedophilia information that has been coming forth in your news and on your social media. Most in the collective are now aware and accepting this as truth, whereas before it was considered conspiracy theory or something that was made up. So the collective energy is making progress in its ability to receive intense information. But at the same time, as the collective energy receives this harsh information, there must also be healing and personal responsibility taken. And so many are realizing that they have not taken enough responsibility for what is happening on the planet. And so this does slow down the release of intense information like this. But we are still on track for a significant event to occur before the end of July. And again, some will see and understand that this is disclosure, and some will be very confused, and some will be shocked, and some will be hurt. But it is important now that disclosure information is continued to be shared. Humanity is at a crossroads, is not quite the right word, but humanity is at a very unique position now where if they can awaken and see what has been going on behind the scenes, if they can accept that dark, nefarious acts have occurred, then responsibility personally and collectively can be taken, and this is what will create your shift. And so people are beginning to awaken to their own sense of responsibility for what is occurring in their own lives and on this planet. And this is very good news and very good progress. But this needs to continue to occur. One of the dangers occurring now is people simply listening to what certain leaders are saying without checking in with themselves, without listening to their own intuition, their own logic, their own reason, without tuning into their own hearts, their own spirits. They're simply handing over their power and listening to those in leadership positions. And this is referring to leaders in government as well as your spiritual leaders and other types of leaders. Anytime power is externalized, power is lost. And so this is a dangerous thing that is happening now within the collective, and this must be rectified as soon as possible. And so a few light shocks to the system will work for some to get them out of this lull. But for most, it is much easier to stay in the position of externalizing responsibility and just trying to cope with life. And so for those of you who do have an understanding of what is occurring behind the scenes, it is time for you to step up with great compassion and with great love for those who are not understanding, for those who are just trying to get by, for those who are simply trying to pay their bills or to take care of their families, or perhaps to take care of their own health issues. Those of you who are of sound mind and sound being, I invite you, dear ones, to take on the role of embodying compassion for each being. Much compassion is needed at this time. And you are the ones who can bring this compassion because you are centered, because you are grounded, because you are of sound mind and body and spirit. You can bring the compassion. So I invite you, dear ones, to hold compassion for all in each and every interaction you have, whether it is in person, on the phone, online, however you are connecting with someone. Bring compassion. Do not make assumptions about what that person is going through, what that person has been through. Bring your compassion and your love always, dear ones. I thank you.
Can you tell us in what category that event is, whether it's political or about extraterrestrial or some other stuff? Don't have to go into details, but just the category, what it might be.
It is regarding things that have been happening within your government relating to past presidents, relating to past vice presidents, past first ladies, people in high positions who will be implicated for their crimes against humanity. Dear ones, the energies for August will be quite interesting and varied, meaning there will be many, many beautiful things emerging, as well as continued disclosure of things that have been going on. There will be several powerful streams of energy hitting the planet throughout the month. And you can look for these during full moons, new moons, alignments like this with the moon. And there will also be a significant coronal ejection from the sun. It would be well for each of you to focus on integrating these streams of light as well as focusing on the good things that are happening. As these positive scenarios emerge, put your energy, your time, your money, your spirit, your creation into amplifying these positive things. These positive things have been occurring behind the scenes and are now set to emerge more fully into physicality in your month of August. And so this is very good news, as it does mean that the collective energy is also ready to receive something more positive. For those of you who are feeling a battle within, and this is many of you, even if you are not consciously aware of it, it is very important during August to find your inner peace and to amplify your peace. And if someone will remind this channel at the end to share a special breath to release anxiety from the body, this will be helpful for many of you. It is very important where you put your focus. And I know we have spoken of this before, but especially as the energies of August will be a bit jumbly. They will vacillate greatly between shadow and light, shadow and light. There will be much polarity. There will be much back and forth, if you will. However, if you focus on the light aspects of August, the ride will be much smoother for you.
One thing I've been doing lately, I've been hearing a lot from wonderful speakers about alchemizing the situation on Earth. You know, the freeing the children, alchemizing that whole situation, and any other situation that's negative, and creating freedom and sovereignty. And I've been doing that with my light language. You know, as you said before, sending the beautiful rose-colored lights in different colors, and I concentrate on the circumstance. And then, of course, I envision my heaven on earth, and I do that. And I also celebration, where the whole earth is celebrating because all this negative stuff is behind us. And, you know, so I do that. Will it also work with the, so I'm comfortable, as an empath, it's very hard for me to be comfortable a lot in public. And of course, driving my car is there's still a problem with dizziness and fears. So can I alchemize that whole situation as well, with just imagining me driving, and it's perfectly, there's like nothing. I'm just fine. It's like second nature to me to get into the car, and I just imagine all the colors coming down in bubbles, and I'm singing my light language. Is that how I can alchemize the positive things about being an empath? Thank you.
Thank you, dear one. And I will speak to you and to others going through something similar, for this is indeed planet-wide. It is more than just envisioning. It is also feeling, rewiring your nervous system, rewiring your brain. For example, this channel described how anxiety had left her body that she did not even know was there. For many, there is the fight, fright, or flight mechanism that is still very active within your bodies. And no amount of visualization and singing light language will change this core issue. There is the need to go very deep within for this healing. And whether you work with a practitioner or you work only on yourself, it is important to do things to calm and rewire the nervous system, such as eating foods that are aligned and healthy for your body, putting your body in nature, touching your skin to the skin of the mother, moving your attention away from those things that trigger, such as what you might see on the news or talking to a friend that is not speaking kindly back to you. It is not that you need to insulate yourself against the world, but to take your triggers seriously. When someone says or does something that causes an emotional reaction within you, to look at that very deeply. And yes, of course, this will take some time. This is a healing journey. And even if you have been doing this for decades, you are still in a human body. And you must remember this, dear ones, that the human body has a reptilian brain. And so that fight, fright, or flight mechanism will always be there, but it does not need to be triggered by every little thing. And as you work to heal each trigger, it will be triggered less and less. And as you work with your breath to release these fight, fright, or flight energies from your body, the trigger will be less and less intense. And so while the visualizations and the songs and the speaking of light language are beautiful and they are powerful, also what needs to be addressed is the physical level of things. You are human, you have physicality, you are experiencing physical human experiences. Some of these tools are higher dimensional in nature. I will use light language as an example. This is a very high frequency tool. But if it does not change your being at a cellular level, it is only so effective as a tool. There are still patterns within your nervous system that are being activated every time you get into the car, for example. And you must work to deactivate those patterns and create new ones. And so it may be helpful even to sit in the car and breathe and feel yourself driving and being successful with having a smooth ride. In other words, physically place your body into that potentially triggering situation. And before you move out of the driveway, do your work to change your patterns in your nervous system by noticing how your body feels just sitting in the car. And think about moving your car down the road and how your body feels then. And each step of the way, change and rewire how your body is feeling so that eventually, when you sit in the car initially, you are feeling calm and at ease. Is this helpful, dear one?
Oh, yes.
It is the same for anyone else, any situation they are moving into. When you know the situation causes anxiety, You do not avoid it. Rather, you move towards it and work with your breath and your nervous system to change your experience of the situation. And you may need to do this many times before your nervous system is rewired, but this is the work, dear ones. We will conclude with a short final message. I want to remind you, dear ones, that you are in very auspicious times. Each and every one of your souls has chosen to incarnate on planet Earth at this time to be part of this shift. And what this means is a great deal of responsibility to navigate through it consciously. If you are listening to me, if you are listening to this message, you have within you tremendous power, tremendous ability to navigate during these times. You have within you the capability to be the shift. In other words, be the changes and the differences in this world that you wish to see on planet Earth. If you wish to see everyone in abundance, be in abundance. If you wish to see everyone healthy, heal yourself, work on your own body, your own spirit and mind. If you wish to see everyone communicating harmoniously with each other, be that person that brings harmonious communication to the table. You cannot afford to be in reactive mode to what is going on around you. You are the ones that must stay centered within your hearts. You are the ones that have the ability to be pillars of light. Dear ones, you have great and tremendous power within you. Be this power now. Be the power of love. Be the power of compassion. Be the power of kindness. A smile, a hug, a kind word goes a long way. Remember, dear ones, that many are still confused. Remember that many are still bubbling in fear, even if they do not realize that they are fearful. And so be compassionate with these beings. Be gentle, be tender. Do not try to trigger their fear, but bring as much compassion as you can. It is very important, dear ones, that you take on this role of being a model, being a leader, even if it is only within your own family, and setting the example. There is no point in arguing what is occurring with those who are not open to receive what you have to say. You can present information, but do not move into the arguing mode, for this defeats the purpose in creating a shift towards a better experience for everyone on this planet. So, dear ones, it is very important to take the highest personal responsibility for your health, for your well-being, for your mental stability, for your emotional stability. For every part of your being, you are responsible. Model this responsibility so that others can understand how to do it as well. Words are not required for this, dear ones. Be a model. Show what to do rather than tell, unless, of course, someone is asking you what to do and how to do it. Then this is different. Then you have an opening. This channel often says, choose your audience. And this is what I'm asking of you, dear ones. For those who are willing to hear what you have to say, yes, share as much as they are willing to receive. For those who have closed ears, do not waste your energy with them. Present the information and let it be. Or simply model, and be the information. It is up to your discernment to decide what is best in each moment. Again, as we move into August, as always, it is important to pay attention to your grounding, to be in nature as much as possible to assist you with your grounding. And if you do not have easy access to nature, then work with your breath to ground, work with special crystals to ground. Whatever it is that works for you, engage with that now to stay grounded, centered, and stable. Things on this planet have the potential to move into harmony very quickly. And if each of you will take your part in this, you will see your heaven on earth very soon. I thank you, dear ones. I thank you. Whew. I love it when Prime Creator talks like that. Okay, I'm going to show you the breath that I've been working with to release anxiety. So I'm just going to stand up so you can see what I'm doing here. So find your belly button, and then find where your ribs are. And where your ribs meet, you're going to move a few inches down from that. You're going to push your fingers here as you breathe. And as you take a deep breath in, you're then going to release it with an S sound. And push it in as deep as is comfortable. Ideally, you want that spot to just be really supple and easy to push in. When I first started doing it, it was hard. It was like a rock. And now when I do it, it's much softer. And for me, I don't know about you guys, when you'll have to try it, but for me, when I do that, I can literally feel just the anxious energy just releasing from my body, and I can feel my nervous system rewiring to peace. It's been really helpful for me. Like Prime Creator was saying, put yourself in the physical situation that is fearful, and make yourself go through it and feel yourself at peace as you go through it. And this breath has been helpful for me to be able to achieve that. There's something that I do in my life that causes me anxiety. And so when I'm in my car on the way to that activity, I'm doing this breath with one hand, because I have one hand on the wheel. I'm doing this breath to release anxiety before I arrive at my destination. And it really has made a big difference for me. So I encourage you to try that breath and see if that's helpful for you. All right, see you guys in the next video.